Yeah, so just help us understand what tips you could, or what it is you see, perhaps. Let's start there, particularly in this time, how people are keeping warm, the methods, and ultimately the lengths they go to in order to try and keep warm.
Thank you so much again. We are a country currently in a state of disaster, so I can put it. There is so much huge amount of unemployment. People are struggling. You can see when you're going around, they still come across school kids just wearing a light jersey, and that is very much saddening. Whereas this is where we're supposed to be having much layers within our bodies to ensure that the head, the hands, and the legs are actually warm, because that's how the cold penetrate one's body. And based on what you see when you're traveling around, because we're coming from different backgrounds, and when you see the other kids from informal settlements and so forth, the way they are dressed up, it's very much saddening.
Yeah, and because of that, they could even take extreme measures. And sometimes it's whether it be candles, paraffin stoves, heaters, and the like, gas stoves, all of those come into dangerous territory at a time like this as well.
This is the time that we need to remember that this is the repetition every year in, every year out, due to the fact that there is not much support for household energy safety awareness programs, especially from the state, because these are programs that are not funded, and it's only NPOs like ourselves who are committed to do voluntarily work and go out there to do some outreach program to ensure that people are conscientized as to what is it that they need to do, because this is the primary time that we have to come up with a preparedness plan. People need to have been educated some time ago. Now it needs to be a revision of what they were educated about, and giving them hands out like your safety calendar, whereas when they look, check the date and what so forth, they can remember that this is the day or the month that we are supposed to be very much vigilant, due to the fact that there's going to be blazes. You're looking into people who are in the informal settlements where there is not enough of the storage area. You'll find the paraffin laying next to just on the in the kitchen on the floor, where kids can access it in the container like a cold drink bottle, whereas the child might forget thinking it's water and then ingest it, which becomes a big problem. And during that time, our communities are not even aware of what to do in terms of ingestions. And there are things that we call light burns. Our communities are not educated as to how to treat the burn. Those are some of the primary things. And we are still using these substandard paraffin appliances, which have been tried to be phased off for some time, but without successes. The people are still using those type of appliances. When you
Yeah.
utilize them, after an hour of being heated, it can burst into flames and cause all the havoc. You look onto how our informal settlement set up, it's like it's congested. If a fire happens in my shack, it's most probably like 120 to 2,000 shacks might end up in flames.
Yeah, absolutely a scarier situation here. Just very quickly in 30 seconds, then, Joe, do you have any tips then people should be just aware of? Your top two tips.
The top tips for communities to do is to stay alert at all the time. We need to ensure that our kids are not given the task of cooking and doing some of the things using fires and appliances, depending on the age group of the kids, because we have parents that are going to work and then they leave younger kids who are going to school, especially the primary,
Yeah.
to come back and do food for themselves. Let's cook food for them in the evening. Put the food in the micro oven if you have such, so that when the kids come, the only unit they can use it's a micro oven, which will just leave it in at 1 minute so that it can just warm and they know they can take out and
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
Because by the time they're cooking, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Let's remember
Okay.
that the kids are the most vulnerable people, because they are still developing. They like to touch, they like to pull, and what so forth.
Yes.
Let's ensure that whenever we're bathing the kids, we don't hot water first. We start with cold water, and then we're gonna pour hot water after. Because by the time you go in to fetch cold water, you'll find that the kid has already jumped into the water, and there is a burn because they are developing. The burn can be severe, whereas to me as an adult, it's not
might
gonna
be
be
less so.
severe.
Joe?
Let's ensure that we're not using contaminated paraffin.
Yes.
Because contaminated paraffin is also dangerous.